Like, I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like.
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on Onlyfans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
What's up, everybody? This is the world famous Ed Lover, and you are watching Forgotten Kings TV. That's right, Forgotten Kings TV. Come on, son.
What's going on, world? It's your homie Sensei Rip, and I'm back again with another video. Earlier this week, it was reported that Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $50 million after being accused of sexually assaulting an Onlyfans model. That's right, y'all. Y'all heard that correctly. According to the article released through TMZ, Shannon Sharpe released 44 pages worth of messages in hopes to vindicate himself against these claims. Okay, according to Shannon, the relationship between him and this young lady who we met about 2 years ago was consensual. Okay, it was a lot of role playing. Like I said, I can't get into the the messages because they were very explicit. However, according to Shannon Sharpe, he says this is a shakedown. All right. But like I said, since the release of these messages, a lot of people have been looking at Shannon differently because they've noticed the banter between this lady and Shannon Sharpe. Okay, it was very explicit. That's the best way to say it without getting jammed up on YouTube. But also, this accuser is being represented by Tony Busby. Okay, this is the same lawyer that created the Diddy hotline, the same lawyer that went at Jay-Z, and it backfired. Well, now he's now representing a young lady who was saying that Shannon Sharpe then did the unthinkable to her. Okay, now, like I said, audio was released yesterday, which Shannon and his team is saying was manipulated. You can hear Shannon talking to this young lady on the phone. Shannon's basically saying, if you say that word manipulate one more time, I'm going to choke the hell out you. You know what I mean? Of course, according to Shannon's team, he said this video, this audio has been heavily edited. But again, like I said, it just seems as if Shannon was entertaining the situation for a couple of years. And for whatever reason, it backfired over the weekend. Okay, now, of course, there are reports saying that Shannon offered this young lady $10 million to settle before filing the lawsuit. Okay, now, that in itself is interesting because that actual report was confirmed by Shannon Sharpe's lawyer, Laney Davis. Okay. Now, again, was the accuser offered $10 million? Oh, Lord, these ads are ridiculous. Was the accuser offered $10 million to settle? I'm not sure exactly about the number, but there was an offer made to this accuser in hopes to settle before filing the lawsuit. And for whatever reason, the accuser chose to ignore the offer and, decided to make this lawsuit public. Like I said, this lawsuit was filed over the weekend, Easter holiday weekend. Let's be clear, right? We all seen the headlines on Easter Monday. So it's obvious. According to Tony Busby, this whole situation has been going on behind the scenes since February. Okay, so like I said, some people feel like the announcement of Shannon Sharpe's new podcasting deal had something to do with the announcement of this lawsuit, right? However, according to Tony Busby, that isn't the case. Okay, they're saying that Tony Busby and his team, they've been working behind the scenes in hopes to settle, before making this whole situation public. However, you see exactly how this whole situation is playing out. But today we got Camron reacting to the Shannon Sharpe controversy. Okay, as we all know, Shannon and Cam, they was going at it last year, right? So of course, it's only right Camron reacted to the Shannon Sharpe controversy. So let's get into what Camron had to say. I want y'all to check it out for yourself. And y'all let me know your thoughts on this controversy, because like I said, Shannon Sharpe releasing these messages, on one aspect, we get it. You know what I mean? He's trying to vindicate himself. However,
fucking with these white
funny for even allowing a woman to talk to him like that. You know what I mean? Role playing or not, it's wild. It's wild. But let's get into Camron's reaction to Shannon Sharpe in this $50 million lawsuit. And I'm going to give y'all my take afterwards. All right? All right, y'all. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, let's get right to it.
bitches. See what happens? That's what Stat just said in a very professional way. That was really nice the way you put that, because that's all you really said. This is what happened when you fuck with dumb white bitches. That's what you get. That's exactly what I heard from you. But look, this is a few, like you said, it's a lot of shit to unpack with this. First thing you said, $100 million, now they want 50 out of nowhere. But when you sue for 50, you don't really want 50. You take about 23, 20, 24, you go for the high number so you can settle out for what you really want. That's first and foremost. Secondly, she 20. How old? 92?
50, so I'm gonna get his
like,
exact age.
you gotta know what's going on. Not saying she don't fuck with you. Listen, I remember
56.
56. I remember Delicious from Flavor of Love wanted Unc. She was on his body too. Unc stay in shape. He popping, etc. It's a lot going on. Especially he has a newfound light. You know what I'm saying? What I will say is this, is that to me, for this last few years, and I'm talking about not even a few years, probably 6, 7 years now, because he started on what is that shit with Skip he was doing? Whatever that shit was called. Undisputed. About 6, 7 years ago. So you have Undisputed. Then he has the success with Club Shay Shay. Then he has his other shows that he do on the internet. Then not only that, you leave Undisputed and go to First Take. So when I first seen Shannon on the internet arguing, going back and forth with certain people, even me and him had a couple words here and there, nothing crazy. I got mad love for super duper love for that nigga. But when I see him going back and forth with other people, so to speak, and I say, he doesn't get it. Now he probably gets it. He's getting more seasoned. I'm talking about last year when he's arguing the sex tape, if you want to call it that, and going back, and before that was other things, people saying that he was gay, and he's going back and forth arguing with people. I'm saying, it's one thing being a successful athlete, and then it's a different thing being a successful entertainer, even though sports is entertainment. But, Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, so people know who he is. But now you're sitting there talking about people. It's one thing when you're catching the ball, scoring touchdowns. It's another thing when you're opinionated about different people. So he found a new brand of success, and I don't think he knew about it in the beginning because, he used to say, my sister said, when you're at the top, this, that, and third. Yeah, nigga, That's the way it goes. People are going to want to come at you when you're successful in this realm. When you're successful in football, people can't run as fast as you or jump as high as you or catch touchdowns. It's something different to where you're being opinionated. And now that you have a smartphone, everybody has an opinion. Anybody with a smartphone can have an opinion. So when you have this newfound success, you got to know how to move, especially with the bitches. You got to know how to move, my nigga, because they are, I'm not saying niggas don't fuck with you, but they want something. They want a couple dollars. They want 25,000 a cheek. Fuck is that? Yo, 25,000 a cheek, and you still speak to the bitch? Like you said, to me, it sounds like they had a lot of, what's the word? I don't want to use BDSM. They had a lot of like little rough relationship. When I say that, choke her and she like it, or grab her up and she like it. Because there's some shit I read it too, that he had anal sex and she got mad because he ain't put the condom on or some shit like that. Obviously, Shorty likes some of this shit, my personal opinion. And like Stat said, I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody going through something serious. But the first thing I took from this when I heard it was, look, he was living in California and moved to Nevada. She moved from California to Nevada too. So if somebody's being abusive to you in one state, why would you move to the next state with the same nigga who's abusing you? I don't know. Me personally, I found the red flag with that personally. And then the next thing is this sex tape that's supposedly coming out. Shannon said, put the whole 30 minutes out or 10 minutes, whatever it is. I guess there's some part in there for 30 seconds because brought that up. Shannon brought that up. He said, I believe he's going to release 30 seconds of it. Whatever that 30 seconds is must be nasty and violent and fucked up. If you don't want to put the whole 10 minutes and you reducing it to that 30, it must have been WWE in that joint. Elbow off the top of the bed, off the thrower against the dresser. You white little bitch, come here, suck big black dick. Fuck you talking about? You want nigga dick? I get that part. I get it. Because I tell white bitches you want that nigga dick. But it's consensual. They agree. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I've been doing this in a different realm from him. I never made it as a professional athlete. I've been out here shaking and juggling these bitches since 20 years old. I know what you up to. I know when a bitch try to bait me in a text message to say some dumb shit. I ain't writing it back. You right. And I'm not writing nothing back. You can't get me to write a damn thing back when I see what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Then you gotta know. You gotta know. See, that's the fucked up thing. It seemed like he trusted her from the conversation I heard. You gotta read the signs like, I don't want to get choked. That ain't something you usually say. Hold on. You don't usually talk to me like this. Why are you talking to me like this now? Yo, I'm going to hit you back. Boom. And then you know when shit ain't right, you be like, when you answer the phone, they be like, hello, hello, hello. They setting up. Oh, I can hear you now. They done set the call up. You got to read all these signs, bro. And you got to think about this, right? This is why, and a lot of people call this nigga Uncle Tom, and he don't like black people, or this, that, and the third, et cetera, et cetera. This is why Stephen A. don't get into no shit like this. And I'm gonna say none of us is above it, knock on wood, but he knows he works for Disney. When you work for Disney, a sex tape can't be coming out like this. You can't be admitting that, 30 seconds of this shit was kind of rough. I'm letting y'all know. Shit get a little wild. But didn't he like 30 seconds get what? Yo, this Mickey Mouse in there. What you mean 30 seconds get wild? I think that Disney's getting a little more lenient because of shit like Pat McAfee, cursing at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Not just that, Shannon had a little sex tape that he admitted to, not in visual, just vocal. So I think it's a little more lenient, and I hope that Disney does keep him. I'm rooting for him because I do believe this is a shakedown. But when you start getting the video evidence and vocal evidence and audio evidence, I should say, pardon me, and text messages and this, that, and the third, that's crazy. Last thing I'll say before I let Stat give her opinion, if she has an opinion,
I do,
is that the Busby shit. I don't like the name Busby. It sounds like the nigga that you be like, have you been done wrong? And then an 800 number pop up at the bottom of the screen. Call Busby. We'll make sure we'll get your money. That name sound crazy. The only difference between Jay-Z and Shannon's situation, because he put Jay-Z name in it because Busby tried to go after Jay-Z, is Jay-Z from beginning to end said, I didn't do a motherfucking thing. Jay-Z ain't trying to give nobody no money. Jay-Z ain't trying to settle out. Jay-Z actually said, fuck that. If y'all think y'all got something on me, fuck a civil lawsuit, make it criminal. I should be going to jail if I did something like this. And that shit was out of here because they knew they ain't have nothing on them. Now, when you trying to settle out on the low, it's a little bit of guilt there. Something happened. Not saying it wasn't consensual. Maybe you offered the money because you like, look, I ain't got time. I just need this to be swept under the rug so I can get back to work and do what I got to do in between these deals. But that's the problem too. Think about Puff and Cassie, right? You make this deal, you give Cassie 15 million or whatever she got, and be like, okay, everything's swept under the rug, right? Cool, let's keep life moving. Yeah, I never called nigga. I got the tape. Nigga hit you like Menace. You ain't seen Menace that. Nigga said, I got the tape. Nigga, now it's another nigga. You call, I thought we settled out, Cassie. This nigga made a copy and all that. Like, I ain't even know the nigga had a copy or that. Now you got Puff running down the hall and the towel dragging him out of here after you done paid 15 million. It's a mess. It's a damn mess, man. I don't know how this gonna play out, but I do know that it don't look good when you try to give somebody a couple dollars to sweep it under the rug. Like I said, Busby did go after Jay-Z. That nigga Jay-Z hit Busby with a Kentucky Fried 8-piece. Bop, 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 bop. Sent that nigga back in his office. We ain't hear about Busby until this Shannon shit.
All right, y'all. That was Camron in his reaction to Shannon Sharpe's lawsuit, $50 million lawsuit to be exact. I want to show y'all the identity that has been revealed of the accuser in this lawsuit, man. Like I said, a lot of people were just disturbed at the conversation between Shannon and the accuser because, again, it's obvious they were in the role play, but certain things you just don't say, right, to a black man. And this is why a lot of people are just shocked and appalled that, you know, Shannon allowed this woman to talk to her like that. Let me see if I can find it. Because they ain't playing. They ain't playing. Let's see. I'm like, yo, this is wild. That Shannon Sharpe at this point in his life, and it's crazy because when he's on his platforms, he's always talking about how he's very mindful of situations like this. Now they're saying that this is the young lady that Shannon Sharpe is being accused of assaulting. You know what I mean? Essentially, they're saying 20-year-old accuser. Now, again, she was 20 years old, right? Or they're saying 19 when he first met her at a gym. You know what I mean? And once you read those messages, like I said, very disturbing. And that part is, to me, the part where Shannon Sharpe really didn't fully think through this whole situation. You know what I mean? Releasing the messages, I get it. You want to prove to the world that you're innocent. However, now you've basically let the whole world back into your personal life. All right. It was one thing when we seen the accidental live. You see people already saying that Shannon might get in trouble with Disney, right? For doing something like this. And rightfully so, because it's a family brand. Disney can't afford to be involved in any headlines, especially one like this. You get what I'm saying? Now, of course, Disney, they've been, you know, loosening up a lot lately because of the landscape, because of platforms like Cam and Mace, right, in the sports realm, being able to give you their take without, you know, being all corporate. You get what I mean? They just giving it to you 100% unfiltered, right? You can tell in Camron's response, if anybody knows about these situations, it would be Cam because, like he said, he's been a ladies' man since he was 20 years old. Okay, you go on his platforms, he's constantly talking about stories, him dealing with women when he's traveling. So, you know, if anyone can give you some game on this, it would be Camron, right? But it's unfortunate because at this point, in your life, Shannon, you can't afford to keep taking these risks. You know what I mean? It was one thing when it came down to the accidental live, right? But this is a lot. This is hard to ignore. And already people are saying that Shannon Sharpe may get fired from ESPN. Okay, that part, I'm not entirely sure if that will, happen, because they did just give him a whole lot of money to join ESPN, right? You got to think he left Undisputed with Skip Bayless. Since then, his name has been consistently in the headlines. And when you announce that you're getting ready to sign $100 million podcasting deal, like I said, the timing of the release of this lawsuit is what made it obvious. You get what I mean? So when Shannon came out yesterday with his video calling it a shakedown, listen, come on. You put yourself in a position to be a target. Now, again, there should be some laws put in place to hold people accountable for making false allegations for money, right? We've seen it with the Diddy situation. So many people came forward, right? And the irony is the same person who started the Diddy hotline is the attorney of this accuser, this young woman. 2 years, Shannon. 2 years you've been dealing with Shorty off and on, not thinking that this could potentially mess up everything. You know what I mean? You got played. And this is why this should be a lesson to all our people, our men of success, women as well. We don't really see this with women, you know what I mean, being accused, even though those things does happen in the real world. But what I'm saying is once you reach a certain level of success, you got to move different. And it seems like, you know what I mean, he used his fame to you know what I mean, get the ladies. And now it doesn't backfire, Shannon. But again, will Shannon Sharpe be disciplined for being involved in this lawsuit when it comes to ESPN? We have to wait and see. But as of right now, Shannon doubled down when calling this a shakedown because, like I said, the messages, man, on one aspect, people are like, okay, Shannon, you're innocent. But on the other aspect, they're like, wait a minute, you'll let this woman talk to you like that? Like, damn, this how we giving it up? Non-black woman talking to you like that. You know what I mean? That's the part where we got to be smart, man. It's that easy, huh, Shannon? They just catch you at the gym, throw it on you, and then boom, 2 years later, you mentioned in a $50 million lawsuit. Like I said, it was already reported that there was attempts to settle before the lawsuit was actually filed over the weekend, for those who may not know. According to Shannon Sharpe's lawyer, Laney Davis, he confirmed that an offer was sent to the accused. Okay, now they're saying $10 million. However, according to Laney Davis, he says the offer was made before he joined Shannon Sharpe's legal team. Okay, but according to reports, they're saying that this accuser was offered at least $10 million. Now, this is dangerous. If you're innocent and you're willing to settle, the reason why that situation is dangerous because once you give them money, who's to say they won't come back asking for more? Especially when you're innocent. Okay, now, of course, a lot of people notice this was civil and not criminal, which is also an indicator that it's about the money, not about the justice. But the point is, you can't play these games because now you become a target. Similar with Diddy and Cassie. It was said that Cassie went to Diddy to get a settlement, and Diddy said no. Fast forward, Diddy out here fighting for his freedom. You get what I mean? It's not a game. This system is wicked. You'll become rich and successful as a black man, and they'll come take all of the money back and ruin your whole legacy. You think I'm lying? Look at Bill Cosby. They waited till that man was damn near 90. You get a certain point in your life where you can't combat the narratives. It's too late. And they can rewrite your legacy and make that be the lasting impression. But like I said, man, Camron, he wasn't lying about how this game goes when it comes to these women. And the fact that it was just announced that he was, you know what I mean, getting ready to sign a $100 million podcasting deal. Come on, man. It's so obvious. And like I said, things need to be put in place to protect people who get accused falsely. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something put in place to protect people from these random these random lawsuits that we know is bullshit. You go into the Diddy situation, you hear some of the claims made, you're like, yo, come on. It's just beyond disgusting. And at this point, people are hurt. Okay, it's obvious. They willing to say whatever, do whatever. These platforms are willing to put out false headlines just for the viewership, just for the engagement. But on the other end of that is people in their lives being ruined, their careers being ruined. And then when we get the truth, the accuser gets to, you know what I mean, walk off in the sunset. No. We got to match that energy. We got to make examples of people who want to abuse the system for their own financial gain, because this is wild. You know what I mean? And you also, as a man, got to, come on, you can't be controlled by lust. You must have discipline. Come on, you're too old to get caught up with these young girls at 20, 21, 22. Come on, man. Like I said, Shannon, you know, enjoying life, enjoying the success of his life, right? Of his career. And situations like this, like I said, this is why you have to be mindful, because it can easily backfire. And you could be out here releasing a statement like Shannon yesterday during a time when, you know, Disney, there's no telling how they're going to go about the situation. But like I said, with the accidental live, that was an accident, according to Shannon, even though people felt like that was staged. However, this right here, these headlines, I don't know, y'all. Y'all going to have to tell me, what are your thoughts on Shannon Sharpe and his $50 million lawsuit? Do you think Unc played himself when, you know, introducing himself to this young lady at this gym? You know, should he be more mindful when going out to these public places, right? When dealing with people, knowing that he's successful, you know what I mean? Made a lot of money. I don't understand how someone can go for the okie doke like this, but, you know, I guess things happen. But again, let me know, what are your thoughts on the controversy involving Shannon Sharpe and his $50 million lawsuit? Also, what are your thoughts on these messages released? Because a lot of people, like I said, on social media, they was disturbed after seeing the messages between Shannon and this Onlyfans model. Like I said, what are your thoughts on the controversy down in the comment section below? And also, what are your thoughts on Camron's take in this whole situation as well? We all know Cam and Shannon, they was going back and forth last year, ever since the accidental IG Live incident. But as you're seeing in Cam's response, he got love for Shannon, you know, and seeing something like this take place in front of the world to react, just unfortunate. And like I said, we still have to wait and see if ESPN will discipline Shannon, because you know how these corporations are. Like I said, Disney, family brand, you know, at some point you can't act like we don't see the elephant in the room. But again, y'all let me know, what are your thoughts on the Shannon Sharpe lawsuit controversy down in the comment section below. But with that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. My name is Sensei Rip. Till next time, peace. Salute world, I need y'all to do me a favor right quick and tap into the homie Grand Finale's latest video titled Sidelines. Okay, the full video is available on his YouTube channel. However, I'm about to bless y'all with a quick teaser. Okay, if you like what you hear, make sure to head on over to his channel and leave a comment. All right, and make sure to tell him that Rip sent you. Okay, run them numbers up. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.
Upon the world before you dearly depart.
Let the world go by. Just let the world go by. And it'll all be just fine.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also, hit that notification bell to get the latest on hip-hop, sports, comedy, whatever. All right, we got you covered over here at Forgotten Kings TV. And also, click on one of these videos, okay? All right, y'all.